So thank you everyone for joining me. I'm Toby from Ealing and Hounslow CVS, and this is the Ealing Mental Health Forum. I'm just going to see if there's any more people. I'll let people in as and when. So yes, in this meeting, we're going to have a little bit of a focus on older people's mental health, just because there are a couple of initiatives developing in the borough, and one of them being the new forum that Gillian has set up, and we had our first meeting about that earlier this week, which was really interesting. So, Gillian, would you like to tell everyone about that meeting and its aims and purposes? Be really interesting to share that with everyone.
Definitely. Hello, everybody. Here, I'll turn my camera on. Hi there. So yes, I'm Gillian. I'm a transformation project manager at West London NHS Trust. And as Toby mentioned, this past week, so on Monday, we had our first community reference group. And what that group really aims to do is to provide feedback and development of a new service here at West London Trust that we are bringing together. So this, we're calling it it's within our service line of the Older People's Mental Health service line. And what we're doing is we're developing a new strengthened community mental health offer for older adults living with mild to complex mental health needs. For those of you that are familiar with West London Trust services, this offer will kind of exist alongside our mental health integrated network teams, as well as our specialized older adults mental health service, SOAMs. So this service will exist amongst the two and is really going to just strengthen the community mental health offer for older adults. We'll bridge the gaps between service provisions for older adults, enhancing interfaces with PCNs, GPs, social services, and the voluntary sector. And then as well as incorporating some of those physical health components that we know are very important in terms of providing community mental health care for older adults. So so on Monday, we had our first community reference group, and really what that was an invitation was sent out to third sector organizations, voluntary organizations, CARES, as well as representatives from Northwest London CCG, local authorities. So really just inviting a wide breadth of stakeholders from the community. And the first purpose really was to introduce the development and the offer that we're just beginning to scope out, but also then to have a listening session, a wide discussion with the community, with the three boroughs that we cover, Ealing, Hounslow, and H&F, to really get to know, number one, what services are available. So really a community mapping exercise, what's out there, what can we build upon? Secondly, getting to know some of the gaps in service provisions, getting to know some of the areas of need, and then really just having a wider discussion about how we imagine kind of key priorities and items coming up that this service might help to build upon. So it was really great. For those of you who were there, thank you so much. It was really rich, great discussion. I'm just in the process of summarizing some of the findings and feedback right now, but I think what we're hearing is that we really need to improve communication. We need to work closely with partners. We talked a lot about, and I think, Toby, something interesting that we can work towards is really this area where we can access a wide breadth of services and know what's out there. So I think one of those big pieces with communication is this idea around joint up and even a directory of services that we can access and support one another with. So the hope will be that these conversations will continue. So again, as I said, this was kind of early days in introducing the service, as well as beginning to understand some of the areas of need and opportunities to build upon. So what we're going to be doing is meeting monthly. So I put that invitation out to anyone who thinks this might sound like something interested that they'd like to take part in, whether you're with a voluntary sector organization that offers support to older adults with mild to complex mental health needs in the community, whether you're a service user or carer who wants to share feedback. I would invite everyone to reach out. I can drop my email in the chat. Our next meetings are the 19th of October. That'll be the next one where we're really going to talk through the service model design and some interventions alongside what we heard this past group. And then following that, we'll be meeting on the 16th of November. So happy to bring back and circle kind of through feedback and findings, but really looking to kind of have a joined up offer that's going to be really ingrained within the community. So it's great to be able to start having these conversations in these various forums. So there's a very quick snapshot feedback. Thanks, Toby. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Gillian. I just wanted to confirm, I've got a very basic question, but just want to confirm it. When we say older people's mental health, it is 50 plus, isn't it? That's where the break off is. That correct?
So so specifically for some of our services, so around the specialists, older adults with SOAMs, it's actually 70 plus.
Right.
Um, we're trying to, it is 70 plus in terms of our specialist services. With this service existing alongside Mint, there's been conversations around the 65 plus, but really what we're hopeful is that they will be integrated amongst each other, that it will be really that ageless model of service delivery. It's just that we'll have some strengthened offers that really do speak to the needs and the specialized needs of the 70 plus population, but it will remain a community offer that's ageless within Mint.
I see. That's good.
Yeah.
And can you remind everyone the vague timeline for kind of mapping what services are out there and kind of consolidating information, and what is the vague timeline for all this activity?
Yeah, so we're working towards the rationale kind of for 3 working sessions happening in the next 3 months is that we are looking, don't mind the fire alarm in our trust headquarters. Just bear with me for a moment. Can you hear me all right over it? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's not an emergency. I think it's a Friday test. What we're aiming to do is by the end of November, have a sort of loose structure of a service model with interventions. So really having an idea of what this might look like by the end of November. So in about 3 months, just a general idea, but the full service provision of this offer will be towards end of kind of 2003, 2004. So the development will come slowly over the next 2 years, but we are hopeful in the coming months to have kind of an idea of what this model, the interventions in the workforce that would support it. So I'm hopeful then by the new year, we'd actually be able to have kind of more detailed conversations and be able to present a formulated plan in that sense. And that's what those community reference groups will work towards, and where we'll be presenting some of the more formulated findings in terms of what this strengthened offer might look like.
Okay, great. And my last question before I open it out to everyone else for their questions, I just wanted to ask, how have you been able, because I'm really interested in the participation of Ealing Council staff, statutory services. I'm not sure there's been that much representation from them at, I think it was Tuesday we had our meeting, and I just think we're missing something there. Have you been able to engage with Ealing Council staff much in terms of their input?
So we have sort of done a widespread invite. I know I came and spoke at this group early on. We sort of sent along all of our stakeholders that we've worked with alongside the Mint projects and sort of known stakeholders around older people's services, send out wide invites. And I'd have to look at my stakeholder mapping. We have invited representatives from each council, but I am mindful that there's probably groups of people that we've most definitely missed. So thinking through kind of the attendance list from that Monday meeting, if there are representatives from either council, whichever it might be, please let me know, because I am sure that there hasn't been a full inclusive list.
I don't want them to miss out.
And by all means, Toby, feel free to send sort of the invites out, or just let me know the emails and I will make sure that those invitations and introductions go out.
Okay, that's great. And I think Bushra, the Mental Health Commissioner, is going to be joining us, or she might be already on this call, so we can kind of flag that to her as well.
I believe Bushra was, included in the meeting. Yeah.
Brilliant. So has anyone else got a question for Gillian about this initiative? No?
And Toby, I am happy to bring forward, as this develops and more information, I am mindful it's still early on, but happy to bring kind of our findings back, and happy to have whoever is interested to join us at our next reference group, where we'll go kind of dig into the details a little bit more.
Okay, great. So next, thanks, Gillian. Next on the agenda was Bushra. Bushra, are you on this call? I'm just looking to see if I can see you. Bushra? No, maybe she'll be joining us later. So let's move on to the next item in the agenda, which is an update from Mind. Keely, I can see you've joined. Would you like to, I'm keen to know how things are developing, particularly with the new drop-in centre in Hammersmith. So how's
Yeah,
things been going?
thanks, Toby. Yeah, really good actually. So for those that don't know about Safe Space, we're a new service that's been set up through Mind Hammersmith, Fulham, Ealing and Hounslow, and we're commissioned through West London. So we set this service up back in May, June time. Ealing is our busiest site by far, so the referrals are coming in thick and fast. So thanks for you guys if anyone's been making referrals on this call. For anyone who doesn't know what Safe Space is, it's a crisis alternative service. So we support anybody 18 plus who's reaching crisis point or they're in a crisis point. The whole idea is to kind of alleviate that burden on A&E services, the CAT teams, having some other support that's not a clinical setting. So we kind of support clients. They can drop into our service or they can call us. We will de-escalate their crisis. We'll look at coping strategies. We'll look at kind of grounding techniques, motivational interviewing techniques, all of those really kind of core health skills. We also have different activities on site as well. So if clients don't want to talk to us, they can come in, they can read a book, they can do some painting, or they can just really sit there and just kind of have a breather. It's absolutely fine. We're not a case management model. So if you guys are referring anybody, just bear in mind it is a short-term service. We might have somebody coming in every week if they're feeling that they're at crisis point every week. But we will then refer on to the Mint teams because there's probably some kind of extra support they need there, more kind of case management support. If you have clients that are struggling with other things like housing or benefits, any welfare issues, if we unpick that, that's absolutely fine. We will refer on to CAB, but we're not the right service just to refer into if it is for housing or kind of welfare issues. So yeah, Ealing's going really well. We've got 3 sites for Ealing, H&F and Hounslow. We're based at the Lido Centre for Ealing, so quite a few of you already know that site. We're open between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. to see clients, but our staff might be on site up until 1, if we have kind of safeguardings or follow-ups, things like that. That's pretty much it for Safe Space, unless there's any questions regarding that. We have launched another new project for Mind. It's really in the infancy stages. It's called Mind My Home. So it's a clinical service, kind of looking at solution focused therapy. We offer, I think it's between 6 to 8 sessions. I can't remember. I think Anne's on the call. I don't know, Anne, if you want to step in. I think it's around 6 sessions. Looking at kind of goal orientation around mental health and managing housing. So looking at kind of maintenance. It's all clinical. It's all with a kind of a trained counsellor, and that's tri-borough as well. I know we've just launched that. I'm not managing that service. My colleague Rachel's managing that, but she might be a good person to come in next month, Toby, possibly.
Okay.
I mean, I can drop an email and get her involved. Sorry, Anne, go ahead.
So my understanding is that it's for tenants of Catalyst Housing Association and A2 Dominion.
Yeah? Yes, most important point. Yeah, so they have to be connected to those housing associations.
Yeah.
Okay, and so just to clarify, Rachel is running a new service that's specifically for those tenants. But what is the service? It's kind of advice and support.
So it's looking at kind of goal-focused therapy. So looking at solution focus, managing kind of the home environment, the housing, really to kind of avoid those kind of hoarding behaviours and just managing the home environment, to be honest. But yeah, I think Rachel would be a good contact to come along next month.
Okay, yeah, that sounds really interesting. Definitely get her along. If you could put me in touch, that would be great. Oh yeah, I've got a question. First of all, I just wanted to make sure that the drop-in at the Lido Centre, do the people there, are they able to issue food bank vouchers?
So we don't have food bank vouchers. We do have kind of petty cash if anyone comes in and we need to get them a meal, or if they haven't eaten for kind of a few days, we would initially do that and then refer on to CAB. But I think if we could get access to food vouchers, that would
Yes,
be
I
really
can introduce you to Janet at the food bank, so you can be an issuer of food bank vouchers. And also the benefit of that is that enables you to access the Help Through Crisis program, which I used to run, and that gives a wide range of support and advice in terms of delays to benefits and other issues. It's kind of wide-ranging support. So rather than, because at the moment I imagine you're referring to Ealing Advice Service and things like that, but this is another avenue, and yeah, it's all about really enabling people when they come into the food bank to get additional help and support to obviously, for example, you might be picking up a client because they're so distraught that they're with perhaps debt or financial problems, and you know that comes out in the conversation, so you give them a food bank voucher. But when they go to the food bank, then there's the Help Through Crisis service that will kind of address those issues and really dig down and try and resolve them. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I will set you up. I introduced you to Janet at the food bank, so you'll be able to issue clients with those food bank vouchers, and that will get them access to the Help Through Crisis service.
amazing. Yeah, that would be really helpful. Thanks, Toby.
Okay. Anyone else got a question for Keely?
See, Kelvin.
Yeah, I do, for me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just in reference to the safe space, I was just wondering sort of roughly how many people are kind of using it on a sort of daily or weekly basis. So
at the moment, on average for Ealing, we're supporting around 6 clients a night. They're not all new referrals. They are some people that we're kind of working with, you know, if they're still kind of in that crisis point, we're unpicking some kind of triggers with them. In terms of new referrals, I think we're up to about, I can't even remember, I think it's around 70 for Ealing, or between 60 and 70 for Ealing across the 3 months. But on average, it's around 6 clients a night. So we're quite busy. We picked up quite quick, actually, and we've had lots of referrals from link workers in Ealing. So big thanks to those guys who are really kind of supporting in the evening with their clients.
I'm also thinking, Keely, when you were talking then about the social prescribers in Ealing, because I'm thinking, one, they've got a lot of information, and the people in the drop-in centre, if they had access to that information or know who the social prescribers are, I'm just thinking there's some crossover there, that maybe we could run a session introducing people. We could maybe do something face to face. I'm in the back of West Ealing Library, just down the road from the Lido Centre. I don't know. I mean, do you think it would be good to have some sort of session face to face, or how do you think people are feeling about that face to face aspect? What is the general feel of people in terms of mixing, in terms of, so we can connect to one another and share information? What's your general feel about mixing?
I think in terms of client-wise, it's been absolutely fine. I think, you know, we've had a few people that are still kind of apprehensive around COVID and things, but we've got all the right processes in place. So in terms of face-to-face appointments through that, I think that's absolutely fine. In terms of crossover between link workers and our service, there's definitely something that we can unpick there. I mean, we've had a few clients come in and say, look, I am in crisis point, and I know I'm in crisis point, I need support, but it's really because I'm lonely during the day or in the evenings. And then what we're doing at the moment is just referring to link workers, and link workers are referring to us. But if we could get some type of kind of referral pathway in place, and actually it's easier for clients to link in, that would be really useful, I think. So yeah, open for a session.
Do you think maybe we could do for the next mental health forum in October? Do you think we could invite like your team and social prescribers? We could put people into little breakout sessions so people just get to chat informally, introduce one another, say what they do, because I think we're missing out. You know, everything's online, and the benefit of being online is the convenience, but maybe we could try something online but informal. So I would just drop people into rooms, get to chat, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, bring them back. Do you think we could? It might be worth.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think we've built quite a good connection with a few of the link workers in Ealing, but it'd be nice to meet the kind of whole team. And it's quite difficult to know which link workers based at which GP and trying to decipher that information. So yeah, no, definitely open for that. That could work quite nicely.
Okay. Yeah, worth having a bash at, isn't it? Trialing something. So yeah. Anyone else got any other questions for Keely? Oh, I've got another question actually. I was just going to ask, are there any sort of emerging themes or patterns? I know it's very difficult trying to generalize, but I'd just be interested to know, are there people finding that they can't get back into work, haven't got the right skills? Is that impacting on their mental health? Is it a lot of debt, or are there any sort of themes? It'd just be interesting to know what is really triggering people to drop in. Is there any themes or anything?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. That's what I'm kind of unpicking at the moment. I think one of the biggest is around loneliness, to be honest. I think that's still, although things are opening back up, it's still a strange, you know, it's not the same as before. It's still strange and people are still very apprehensive about that. So there is a lot of loneliness. And actually we've had a few people come in post them having COVID, and they've actually said, you know, I really don't want to go back out. I'm really nervous and I'm anxious. So we're unpicking that. I think there's definitely stuff around kind of financial support as well. Financial and loneliness, I think, is the biggest ones we've seen.
Okay, thanks for that. Very interesting. Okay, then, if there's no more questions for Keely, thanks, Keely. Let's move on. God, we're getting through the agenda today. Paula, would you like to give an update on Yardo? It'd be really interesting to find out how you've been and what's been going on.
Hi, Kevin. Sorry, Toby.
Hiya.
I've just seen someone called Kevin as well. I might not recognise.
Can't see you. Can hear you.
Excuse me. Not sure why you can't see me. Stop preview. Can you see me?
No.
It's Teams.
Oh, I think I can. Yeah, if you got your camera on, I can see the initials.
Right. What's going on?
Let me see if I can do anything my end so we can see you. Yeah, it's just.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to turn on a background. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know how to.
Yes. Okay, no worries. We can do it just audio.
I'm sorry.
No worries. These things happen. Let me try and click on you one more time, see if I can. No. Unless you want to leave and then I'll let you back in. See if I
Should we do that?
Yeah? Yes,
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
give that a try.
I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Do I leave or do you chuck me out?
You leave, you just click leave and then go back in and I'll let you in again. Right, bear with me, everyone. Let's try letting Paula in and see if this resolves it.
I'm taking it you can't see me.
No, never mind.
I'm sorry, my camera icon My turn cap isn't showing as.
No, I haven't got your icon my end to show it, so I'm not sure. But
All right. Well, I'm sorry.
don't worry.
I won't send you to sleep just by talking.
No.
Thank you, Toby, for inviting me. So I started Yardo, two of us, a year ago to offer high quality wellbeing programs to people that wouldn't normally be able to afford the type of support we were offering, such as counselling or mindfulness training with some of really good couple of teachers. Because there is a lot of mindfulness training out there now, for example, but we've really tried to quality assure our teachers. I think primarily one of the key things is that that teacher has actually been practicing mindfulness themselves, probably daily for a number of years, is one factor. And being well trained, it does make a massive difference. And the feedback we've got from our first few courses has been really highly valued, the quality of the facilitators. So we offer that really good, hopefully really good quality type of training, because we think it makes a difference to the impact and the benefits the client has, but we offer it at a pay what you can afford fee. So for example, our first course had people paying fees anything from £8 to £160. So it's a pilot. We were trying to see how that model worked. Could we, fund Yardo with this cross-subsidised model? And I think we've just about managed it with some funding help and some donation help. So we're repeating elements of the programme again with a few changes, which I'd like to tell you about today and hopefully get your feedback and support, ideas and buy-in to what we're offering next. So if you go online to yardo.co.uk, you'll see at the moment we have another 8-week mindfulness course with Dr. Caroline Hoffman, who is a director of the Breast Cancer Haven. She's really brilliant expert. She's done 2 courses with us already. What I've done this time though is rather than just have a pay what you can afford and anyone apply for anything, I've got funding from a South Acton based organisation. So I can give the course at really discounted prices to people in South Acton. So I've tried to do something different. I have got 3 prices online that you will see if you go and click on our programmes now. They're quite high, £170, £200, £230. That's for the 8-week course with Caroline Hoffman. Now, I'd like to point out that's already subsidised. She's doing exactly the same course in exactly the same time for £300. So those prices are already subsidised for anybody that wants to join them, and we're particularly looking for people from Ealing. But I've created a discount code for referrers, such as the people here. You might have clients that you think will benefit from the mindfulness course. And, I'm thinking that social prescribers, counsellors, anybody that's working with clients that might not be able to afford £230, you can apply on our website for a discount code and the prices just go right down. So if you just apply for, it's a very quick form. It literally asks you your name, your email address, your phone number, and within a day or 2, probably within a couple of hours actually, but within a day or 2, I'll send you codes and trust you to share them with any clients that you think will benefit. And those codes will take the courses prices down to about £20, £50 and £80. And people can apply them to whichever ticket price they want. So again, they have that choice of paying a little bit more if they can afford to. Any questions? Is that clear, sort of thing? So it's a little bit different to the model we had before, when you just paid anything that you wanted. And also we're doing everything online now because it was quite a lot of administration the way we were doing it before, where we were issuing PDF forms to everybody. So the whole process pretty much is online. We have sort of assessment screening questions online. Dr. Hoffman will check all of those questions. She'll contact any clients. She'll probably contact all of them as before, but you know, if there are any issues with the client, she'll contact them. And that's it. I mean, what I can't really convey, or perhaps what I'm not really conveying very well, is just how successful the courses were, and how much people really valued them. The feedback was very cheering, actually, because I got myself incredibly exhausted setting up Yardo and running the programs, I have to admit. Then when I saw the evaluation feedback, I thought, oh, okay, that's good. Some people have liked what you've done, so that's really good. So the courses were oversubscribed each time. So they were oversubscribed actually by a lot of clients and people that already know the value of mindfulness and already, sorry, when I say clients, sorry, psychotherapy professionals. A lot of psychotherapy professionals, often from Metanoia, where I was studying, we literally had to put them on a waiting list because they were trying to access the courses, not at the discounted prices, but you know, we're still offering it at a better price than you get elsewhere. So we had to put a lot of psychotherapists and other types of people like that on a mailing list in order to work with referrers and social prescribers to really make sure that people who were in financial need or who really would have benefited from the courses got the chance to do them. And that worked out very well. We had a really good mix of people who valued the courses. And we gave out 11 laptops and broadband and training to people who didn't have computer access during lockdown, and that was very good for challenging isolation, as someone mentioned before. It's made a big difference. So yeah, so the courses we had before were 3 mindfulness courses, 8 trainings, a drop-in weekly course. So once you've learned your mindfulness, you can drop in at any time. There'll always be a Yardo drop-in group, and you'll see some of the people from your own courses and some of the people from the other courses. And we had a Mindfulness for Health course the last time by Vibha Don, which is a Breathworks accredited course. And I'd quite like feedback on this one, because Vibha can offer either mindfulness for health or mindfulness for stress. And I just wondered what sort of thing would appeal to your clients more. And we put that course isn't on the website yet, but it's ready to go for January. I don't know if there's anything you want to know. Stop me. If there's anything not clear, anything you want to ask, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, thanks, Paula. That sounds great. I was just writing down some notes there. You were thinking about the 2 options, mindfulness for stress or mindfulness for health.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any thoughts on what they think their clients would like?
Could I just add that the mindfulness for health is very much focused on people with chronic pain and chronic illnesses. So it was really valuable. We had 12 people do the course, high retention rate. It was really valuable. And the mindfulness for stress is obviously more general than that.
Right. Well, the thought of having a session for chronic pain, I think, would be really, really advisable, because you know, when I've looked for people in the past of what is available in the borough, there used to be a place called, in a church in Acton, the Pain Exchange, which sounds like some dodgy nightclub, but it used that was the only place that offered somewhere to offer ways of managing pain. So straight away I'm thinking, wow, that would be great, mindfulness for chronic pain. But has anyone else got any thoughts out there? No, you're all been really quiet today. Kelvin, I'm sure you've got some thoughts. Tell Paula what you think.
I'm not sure if I have a question at the moment, to be honest. But if am I able to get your contact details, Paula? I'm not sure if I actually have.
Yeah, I'll be sending those around later.
Brilliant. Great.
Yeah, I'll send. I can send. I don't know how to chat here, but I could send you the link to the website. Oh, I think I found it. Should I put it in the chat?
That would be great. Yeah.
So the website is yardo.co.uk, And there's a hidden page for referrals. So I'll give you that hidden page now. You won't see it if you just look on the website. You need to use this link. And as I said, it's a very, I'm hoping a quick and easy process. Do give me feedback, because I did it myself. I'm not very technical. So give me feedback if you need to about that process. It's quick and easy.
I like the new model. I was interested, Paula, when you said that you've got an organisation who's enabled this to happen because they made a donation. Does the organisation want to remain anonymous?
No, they don't. They're called Acton Gardens LLP. They don't want to remain anonymous.
Oh.
So
yeah. They'll be on your website as well, will they?
Not quite yet, because they've agreed the funding. They haven't given me the funding yet, so I will put that. So I will, as part of the funding agreement, I should actually put on my marketing that they're doing the funding, and that kicks in from the 1st of October. So any day now, you'll see the website updated with their logo.
Is that Acton Gardens the developer who's built the flats? Yeah. Wow, that is so good you've managed to get something from them, because I'm just thinking about, I also run a housing campaigning, and also when developers build in Ealing, they should be making donations to support the local community. And we can't find out that information from Ealing Council of who has donated and what has been done. So this is the first time I've heard of a developer actually giving some money for something to support the local community. So well done, Paula. You're a trailblazer to actually connect with them to get some funding out of them. So just talk us through the process of how you were able to engage them, because I'm really interested, and I think there should be more of this sort of connections, whether it's local organisations or housing developments. How did you manage to get through to them?
Well, I am very connected with that development, because I was for a while a trustee of the Acton Gardens Development Trust.
Right.
And that came about because they opened a community centre, as developers often have to do as part of their obligations to the local authority. And they opened a community centre at exactly the same time that I was looking for a community centre to work with, because I've come from a community centre management background. I've managed community centres in South London in the past. And I had some funding to enable me to work in a community centre. So I was looking for one in Acton, and that's when I came across the fact that the Acton Gardens development was opening a centre. So I've been involved with them as a volunteer or associate of some type for the last few years. So I'm aware from being on the ground that they have a thing called a community chest, where they give out £50,000 every year to local organisations. Now, I don't think it's my insider contacts that made me aware of that. That is public information. Mm-hmm. Having said that, maybe I was confident in applying for it because I know the organisation, the scene so well in South Acton. And the process couldn't have been easier. You're going to perhaps be shocked if I tell you that I applied for the funding and had it approved and agreed within a week.
Wow.
And that was £5,000. So each local organisation can apply for up to £5,000 twice a year. So if I wanted to, I could go back again the December deadline or the March deadline and apply for another £5,000. Whether or not I get it, I don't know, but I was lucky.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of feedback. I can hear myself. I'm just going to mute everyone, and then Paula, if you can unmute yourself. So I'm going to see what's going on. Lots of IT issues today.
I think I've unmuted.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Well, so that sounds like a very straightforward process.
It was straightforward, and the reason why it all happened so quickly is because I knew that there was a September deadline. And when I thought it was the 15th of September, and then I discovered the night before that it was the 1st of September. So I did the application the next morning, and as I said, I was called to a meeting with a little funding group on the Monday, and they approved it that week, and it was quite quick and easy. So other people can apply for that. The only thing is it has to benefit 60% of the residents of South Acton. And so that's why I've created 2 discount codes, which, you know, any of you here, I'm sure, are free to use for clients that you think would benefit from the mindfulness course, but at a much cheaper cost. So one of my discount codes is just for South Acton residents. And if you apply for that, I'll also, well, you can't see me, but I'll also send you a little ward map so you're aware of who that applies to. And the other discount code is just a straightforward £150 reduction that your clients can apply to any ticket price. It probably sounds more complicated than it is. I've really worked hard to try and make it really as easy peasy as possible. So hopefully you'll find it easy, and your clients. Yeah.
Sounds good. I'm just wondering, Kelvin, whether this could apply for some of your clients. I'm not sure about how far your clients travel, but as you're based in Acton, whether you have quite a lot of local people, whether there's something there.
Yeah, I think there would probably be a few people who I think live quite local and would be quite interested. Absolutely. So yeah, I'll make sure that put the word out among our support workers, and if there's a nice easy referral process, that'd be even better. That's great. So thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Paula.
Any more questions for Paula? Don't think so.
There are other developments, and one thing is, if you sign up for the discount codes, I do ask you to tick that you don't mind being on the referrers waiting list. And as new courses come online, I'll send you those and I'll automatically send you discount codes as well. But if you don't want to be on that list, just unsubscribe. Yeah. So there are other things in the pipeline, but it's probably not worth me talking about them just now. But I will definitely keep anybody updated if you go on the mailing list.
Sounds great. I'm also thinking about people who are dropping into the Lido Centre. It might be worth, and it's great that Keely's on this call, that if there's people from the South Acton area, that they could access the courses. Those people would be great as well for them. So
sorry, just another thing, just to be clear, there are 2 codes I will send to you if you want to go on the list. One is for South Acton, but the other one is 150 quid for anybody that's an Ealing based client. So other clients can also benefit.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, now on to any other business. So I'm going to pick on some people for an update. Stephen, you've always got lots to talk about, and you're being quiet today. Would you like to give us an update from each and what you've been up to, any new developments?
Okay, first of all, can you hear me? Because I've got some technical. Okay. Well, I was being quiet because actually for once I don't have a lot to say. No, that's probably not true. Well, I mean, we're business as usual. Our office is open 3 days a week now, and our teams are rotating coming in. But we've been doing our services face to face throughout since the beginning of the pandemic. In terms of what's new, well, we've been now running our steps weekly mental health drop-in for a while, and it seems to be going quite well. The STEPS program was originally designed to be delivered face-to-face in public venues, and we're trying to work our way back into public venues, including West Ealing Library. But what we had in our physical stuff, because we've become very conscious that when we're doing everything online, excludes a lot of people from accessing information, is we're in a position with venues are opening to the degree that we can start to have our information, our leaflet resources there, but not necessarily be able to put in what we called our supported signposting sessions, where our peer volunteers were going in and giving advice and direction to people. So we're looking as a way of bolstering that to go back to something we tried just before lockdown 2, which is pop-up sessions in public spaces. We did an experiment in October with Ealing Broadway Centre on a Saturday, which actually proved very fruitful and threw up some interesting things, because most people who talk to us talk about knowing where to get support being a primary issue. However, we monitor quite closely the sort of leaflets people pick up, and what we find is that a large amount of the actual information people walk away with is information relating to specific mental health issues. So it's quite clear that there is a public appetite for understanding what schizophrenia or OCD or any of these things mean. So that's something we've been quite interested with. And we are going to continue with online output. And we do also put, sort of lighter self-help stuff up in our Self-Care Sunday thread. And we're looking to other venues where we haven't had our information banks before. One of the things I was looking at, you may remember, Toby, that just before the original lockdown, there was a plan to try and do something in Ealing Broadway railway station.
Yes.
And I just observed by accident when I was shopping in Ealing that they're starting to reopen the new, bigger, shinier station. Oddly enough, I found that the internet is not a good source of actually finding any telephone number whatsoever to speak to anyone. So I'm going to go back and talk to Sultana, who you remember came in to talk about that very idea, because we were on the back burner with her as well, because we were going to try and support her benches with information. We would provide some information to back up her talking bench. I can't remember quite what she called the idea, but somewhere where people in the station who are feeling distressed can sit down and phone someone. So I am going to unilaterally sort of go back to the station and see if there is any scope for us, and indeed the broader group of mental health services, going in and doing a bit of publicity with a bit of information giving to the real travelling public. So I'll keep you posted on that, Toby, because if they are up for it, then maybe they're up for something more adventurous than just us.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good.
So I don't know what you think of that, but I mean, it was simply because I suddenly noticed it was open, and I kind of Googled, and there were these pictures of. I mean, it seems to be. I don't know what the actual logistics of doing anything is, and whether or not they'd have which is why I'm going to go through Sultana, because she was trying to direct that initiative to the Ealing stations anyway. But if there is any possibility of us getting in there in some shape or form, I'll let you know.
Yep, that'd be great.
We're still obviously operating our other services, including our IPS employment service, and that's very much focused now on getting people into work or into what they call education, skills and education outcomes. So it's very focused on that, and certainly our team is now probably working with smaller numbers of people, but with more substantial outcomes. And we've certainly seen a big demand, and again, it's not surprising given what COVID has done. There's seems to be much more of a demand for people who are wanting to get into work, not simply do a training course or dip their toe in, although that happens as well. So that's certainly something. You actually raised earlier with whether or not there's anyone coming to the Mind service with employment issues, and I would say to Keely, I think it was, that if you think there's a need for either your folks on the ground or indeed service users speaking to someone about that, that's maybe something we could arrange to do something about. So I'm quite happy if someone wants to contact me around that. It didn't sound like there's an immediate demand based on the feedback, but if there is, or if there's or if you want us to talk to your staff. And that actually goes for wider services. If there's anybody who wants to talk to somebody from IPS about referring clients who are interested in skills or employment, we're more than happy to have that conversation. Our criteria for that service used to be 25 plus, but it's now BME 19 plus with some history of mental health issues. So we're more than happy to come and visit anybody who thinks that they would benefit from being able to refer into the service. And of course, people can self-refer.
Okay, that sounds great. So, got feedback again. I can hear myself. Feedback's plaguing us. I'm just gonna try and, I think it might have been, don't know what's going on there. Anyway, can everyone still hear me okay? Yeah. So Kelvin, I saw a couple of weeks ago there was some great publicity for CAPE, because Tracy was interviewed and she came across amazingly well, and I fed that back to her. And yeah, it was a really interesting piece on the unemployment statistics and how Ealing's been particularly badly affected because of the impact of Heathrow and the aviation industry being really badly affected. But yeah, it was an interesting piece, and I recorded it. And so and I was thinking, you know, if there's any opportunities for partnership working for funding, then we've got some evidence. And yeah, I think we should, as a group, bear that in mind, that I'm hearing so much with funders that they're wanting to see partnerships, even though we all work in partnership on an everyday basis, they want to see that a lot more for funding bids. So that's something worth bearing in mind. And on that,
no, thanks for that. That's I was just going to say, yeah, brilliant. I mean, it's and it's a quick opportunity just to say if anyone wants to pop down the shop, because it is actually really quite good. So it's if you haven't visited the CAPE shop on Churchfield Road, then yeah, it's a good time to be doing that. Can I quickly sort of just a little bit of kind of grifting, if I may? So this Sunday, like an idiot, I'll be participating in the Hackney Half Marathon for a little bit of fundraising. So if anyone wants to throw a £5 sponsorship my way or something like that, that would be absolutely brilliant. If you want, you know, just send me an email or something, and I'll send you the link for that.
Or feel free to put it in the chat here if you want.
Oh, yeah, I should do that. Yeah. Well, I'll try. God knows where the link is at the moment. But, yeah, just I'll put my email in, because I can't think of too many things at once. But yeah, so yeah, got that coming up. Yeah, just other kind of CAPE stuff quickly. I mean, it is kind of business as usual at the moment, though I think there will be some things coming up in the pipeline. So if just a quick shout out to keep diaries open for the 22nd of October, if you may make some space. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. So yeah.
Cryptic.
I know, yeah. Well, you know, it's October, right? And you've got to keep things a little bit kind of,
okay,
you know.
But something exciting is going to happen then, is it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So
I'll make sure I block that out in my diary.
Brilliant. Great. And so, yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. I just wanted to remind everyone also that we have I don't know if everyone's aware of the Freshwater Foundation, which is a local Ealing funder. And I'm just going to get the information up on my screen whilst I'm talking about it. And it is they are running with us a funding workshop information session on the 8th of October It's for an hour, and the CEO of Freshwater Foundation is going to be talking about the application process for funding. And funding is for available up to £2,000, and it says that just very flexible criteria, must fund work in Ealing or Hounslow. So I'm going to put that in the information I send around afterwards. So if you're considering, you know, the story of Paula saying how easy she got funding and to discount something, yeah, make sure you come along to that session and find out if you can run an additional service or something just by gaining some funding from the Freshwater Foundation. So that is it from me. Has anyone got any other business or anything else they'd like to talk about? No, bit of a quiet session today. It's a shame Bushra wasn't able to join us. Hopefully she can come to the next one. I was really keen to find out kind of initiatives from the council. Yeah, hopefully she can join the next. But in the meantime, have a good weekend, and I look forward to seeing everyone at the next Mental Health Forum at the end of October. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Toby.
Bye.